Good morning to all. As we know, seed is one of the very important input. Seed is most essential one because it is not only for the crop or something. It's a good quality seeds increase the productivity. Not only productivity, it also related to nutrition also. But today across, if you see, the seed is the quality seeds getting is very difficult actually. Earlier days we see every village used to have the sustainable seed systems. The farmers themselves, they will take and they will give a neighboring farmers like that. No, we had the quality seed management and distribution system olden days, maybe 30, 40 years before many villages we can see. But today seed is one of the most commercial commodity, and it is the most we see everywhere, newspapers reports, very spurious seeds. It affects large number of farmers also, because today large number of government agencies, private sector, and also others community organizations also in the seed systems. It's a large number of actors are there, and even regulation other things are there, but still increasing the productivity is the major aim for us, and also seeing the climate change, other issues. Seed plays a very important commodity, and also it gives the more economic prosperity to the farmers compared to any other inputs. Maybe the seed is the one of the main essential or very important commodity or input for the farmers for the better agriculture. And also seed makes the things different for everybody. That's why today we have one of the renowned seed scientists and former Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Rajendra Prasad sir is here, and he was the part of Manage Academic Council and also part of other activities. He is a very good friend of Manage. We can call him as a friend of Manage. Very often sir is here and in the Manage campus earlier years also, and he used to support all the Manage activities, and also he was Vice-Chancellor for the University of Agriculture Sciences, JKVK Bangalore, and he did a lot of work on seed also, and he is a seed scientist, and today he will talk about sustainable seed system for farmers. On behalf of Manage family and all other participants, those who are training participants, especially defense personnel are here, and I welcome our Honorable Professor Rajendra Prasad sir for this knowledge series for this session, and also I welcome my colleagues, senior directors and DD Knowledge Management, Dr. Srinivasacharyalu, and all the project staff members and other faculty and other staff. I welcome all of you for this program. Thank you very much.
Respected today's expert speaker, Professor S. Rajendra Prasad garu, former Vice-Chancellor of University of Agricultural Sciences, Bangalore, and my Senior Director, Dr. Saravanan Raj garu, and my faculty members, Balsubramani garu, Dr. Shailendra and Dr. Reddy garu, and especially the Jai Jawan Kisan soldiers who are always with us. I think 4 months stay is a very long stay with us, and your participation in all our activities really appreciated. And our faculty members, staff, consultants, and project assistants, thank you very much. And to tell about sir, Dr. Saravanan Saab already mentioned about a renowned seed scientist in India. I think he has a master's degree in seed technology and a PhD in seed technology. So he is a seed man. So he has been recently retired from the Vice-Chancellor position in US Bangalore, and before that almost more than 27 years he rendered his service in different levels in different projects, national seed projects, and a lot of training and administrative research activities in different capacities, and also he worked in ICAR National Seed Institute as a head of that organization. Tell about sir has been a researcher with a focus on agronomy, particularly sustainable agricultural practices, soil health, water management, and crop productivity, and authored numerous research papers, publications, and also in morning he was mentioning that wherever he goes, then he'll pick up new ideas, innovations, and try to implement wherever he is discharging his duties. I think a lot of such stories from morning he was narrating. And all these reforms in the university system, especially encouraging young talent in agriculture to change them into agripreneurs, agri-startups, innovators, they really appreciate it. And sir has been a member of several forums at national level, like policy advisory, And many agricultural forums he is collaborating, and with the institutions also he is collaborating. Working with International Agriculture Center, Wageningen University, University of Philippines, Las Banas, the Philippines, and IIC and DOEC Seed Division, Chiang Mai, Thailand, Advanced Seed Production Post-Harvest Seed Technology Centers, Plant Variety. So this is all about a person who spent almost more than 30 years in seed technology and seed industry. And thank you very much, sir, for readily agreeing to deliver a very useful lecture on sustainable seed systems for farmers. A very useful session, rightly mentioned by Dr. Sharavanan Raj, how these sustainable seed systems will help farmers really to conserve and then use this biological conservation and agrobiodiversity conservation at farmers level. Hopefully we'll touch upon many issues, and this will be very useful for all of us, and this will be converted into a video, sir, and this will go to last mile extension workers, and they will use this video in different purposes: training, capacity building, research, so many activities they will use this your video. Thank you very much. With this I stop here and invite Dr. Rajendra Prasad sir to deliver his lecture.
Good morning to all of you. Respected the director and also our own alumni, Dr. Sharavanan Raj and Dr. Srinivas, who is the person connecting between manage and me, and also all the senior directors, colleagues and other things. Really what is said is right. It is once I come to management, is coming back to my home, associated with the manage. In fact, we are also working on the traditional seed system, where we had it in collaboration with the manage and also one of the NGO. So these are all some of the associations with the institutions. Come back to the today's the topic, and I would like to cover upon some of the issues. Of course, there are a lot of things to cover, but I concise and I'll try to be present in 1 hour. So I need more interactions, feedback from you on the questions, what exactly you need and how the things are there. So once again, I would like to thank Dr. Srinivas and the director for giving me this opportunity to be with you, to share my experience with the seed line. Friends, you see, as he mentioned, I'm going to talk about the seed, how the sustainability in the agriculture for the farmers, what is most important is the seed. How to feed the world in 2050, that is a challenge for all of us, because there is a climate change. Even last week, we had a very, very heavy rains. In fact, in Bangalore, in some of the areas, we have traveled by boats. So after 30 years of this one, that was the kind of situation change. And if you look at the distribution of rainfall during this year, it is not optimal for the agricultural farmers, because there was a heavy rains in the beginning, there was no rains after the sowings, and now there is a flooded. Most of the crops which are ready to harvest, they are in the flood. So this is the situation. Under this, we can't forget to feed the nations by 2050. What should be our food production, sir? So that is the challenge before us. So if you see the other aspects, our Honorable Prime Minister was saying doubling the farmers' income. That is one of the things. And food for all, how we can feed. Then the climate change. These are all the 3 important major factors which really bother us. So how we can do that? So in terms of doubling the farmers, when we go for the diversifications, where exactly we can increase the things, so that we have to look into that. Food for all. So when you say food for all, see, only few crops varieties are available, and how you make it. Not only the food, I'll talk about the nutritional aspects, for which how the seed is going to play an important role. So that is one thing. Then the climate change. As I mentioned already, a lot of things are going on, how to address these issues. So if you look at the world populations, there are 3 categories which you can see on the slide. One is the already developing nations, and one is a transitional stage. If you look at the populations and other things, in the case of the yellow color, where you could see the growth is enormous and the requirement is more. If you look at the blue line, where our developed countries, as the year advances, almost same. Only in terms of marginal increment they required. So that means country like us, there is a big challenge. So where there you can see how what is the requirement and earlier days and what is the requirement for the future. It is almost double. So by 2050, our populations will be 9 billion. So to address this, what are the things? The thing which we have to look into the inputs. So major and critical input, as our director mentioned, is the seed. Once you talk about the seed, the farmers, if they get the seed, quality seed, 25% of his problems will be resolved. That is the most important things. So once he get it, so how we can address the food issues? What is the contribution of the seeds in terms of the food? Almost 95% it is contributes. For the feeds and other things, that is 20%. Again, the efficiency of the seeds can be increased to the tune of 45%. We are putting a lot of the inputs like fertilizers, our efforts, and every pesticides. If at all it has to be give their yield back, so only in the presence of the quality seeds. So we need the seeds. So that is the point which I wanted to clear. See, this is the one of the International Seed Federation man who says seed is a cornerstone for the food security. That it means it is a pillar. Always I say, because when I was the director of Indian Institute of Seed Science, I used to analyze what is the seed requirement and what is the food productions, how it is related. So I have taken almost 10 years data and correlated. It is matching with the positively correlations. That means as the quality seeds increases, the food production is also increased. So that is the level. So then we have realized we have to. If you look at our Indian crop diversity, so many species are available, but this can be used for the crop improvement. If you look at the plant species that is used for the food is around 272, and major contribution in terms of our calories, about 90% by only about 15 species. Again, among these 15 species, only 3 species going to contribute to the 60%. Probably what are those species. So looking at this diversity which we have, how really we can make use of them and increase the food productions. Then come directly to the seed security. If you look at the FAO definitions, what exactly the seed security means, I always say the people used to talk about the food security than this one. I always say seed security, food security, and now we are thinking about the nutritional security. This is correlated to the seed. So if you take the seed, this is the farmers can access the quality seeds and planting material they desire at the time of sowing. So 3 dimensions we look what exactly seed security. One is the availability, because I have experience as a special officer seeds. I was dealing with the seeds, selling, produce, and other things. Even 1 week delay in positioning our seeds, we lost. That means availability of the seeds timely is more important, because our agriculture mainly depends on the rainfall. So that way we should keep ready the moment we get the rains and we should start sowing. That is the availability, timely sowing. Then access. Can our farmers can take it or buy it. Of course, now there are so many schemes are there. The RSKs are there, the positions are there, but still there is a lot of things to do it. And the quality, it is most important in the sense the genetic purity of the lots and germinability and the healthy. These things has to be ensured if at all you want to secure the seeds. Then how the seed security ensures the food security? The first and foremost, protection and conservation of the crop biodiversity, which I mentioned earlier, and robust and production and supply of seed systems. Today we have a different models of productions, and I'll come to that later, how it really supports the seed security. Then sound national and regional policies. Of course, India is the one which is having a vibrant seed policies and seed systems, which really all these policies are going to support for the productions, and of course the timely availability of seeds and the price. This is the most important thing. So efficient distribution. This is the most important thing which we would like to highlight, because seeds are available, but when it comes to the distributions, the people who are at the bottom, they may not get the seeds at the right time. So there, how we should address. what is our strength in the India? Of course, India, as I mentioned, it is one of the vibrant seed system in the world, and we have the strength in terms of the establishment of NSC in 1963. Before that, there are so many private companies. Probably you have heard of Satan Seeds. It was started way back in 1928. Then they started distribution of the seeds and everything. This was the awareness created even before the independence about the seeds, and they were the one. So realizing the importance of the seeds, because probably you might have heard Tara Development Corporations where when during green revolutions, the making availability of these high yielding varieties and the dwarf varieties through these Tara Development Corporations, that is in the UP, they started how to produce the certified seeds. In fact, the institution that is in Pantanagar Institute was also made responsible for this. So this way, that was the beginning. This SNSC was taking care of the production of the parental seeds, which is further required for the multiplication of the certified seeds, and monitoring of the seed production system in the country, that was taking care. Then well-lit seed production and distribution system. For example, most of the state governments are having state seed corporations. Based on the experience what we get in the first World Bank funded the Tara Development Corporations, which really helped us to establish the seed corporations across the country, and they started with the different models, and they are able to succeed in providing the stations and seeds to the farming community. Then a network of 26 state certification agencies. This is the most important. When you say seeds, it is a quality. Who will regulate the quality? The certification agency. When it comes to the certification agency, everyone can do all the seeds? No. It is only the notified varieties which can be certified by these agencies. For other things, I will let you know on another thing. So when it comes to the testing laboratories, we have about 110 to 115. Of course, it is a old data. Notified testing laboratory where the quality is being tested. And there is one national level referee tested laboratory. It is in Varanasi. If there is any dispute in the results, there is a God sample, it go to that system and it is going to verify whether the testing is done by these state laboratories are correct or not. So again, member of OECD, you stand that is ITPG A4A. So here, see, we have, if you look at the scenario of India, you go to any corner of the country, you can produce any type of this. This is a major advantage we have in the country. So that means any crop, whether it's a cool crops, whether it's a temperate crops, any kind of crops which we can grow. So taking the advantage of this, why can't we export the things, export the seed material to the other countries? So that way we have become the OECD seeds during 2008, and the ISTA is the International Seed Testing Association, where all our minimum seed certification standards and the testing procedure is adopted based on the ISTA rules and regulations, which is common for the most of the countries. Of course, in terms of conservation, ITPG-FRA is doing wonderful job. Then recognition of 5 OECD schemes. Of course, there are 7, out of which 5 is being recognized for the cereal seeds, vegetables, oil seeds, and some of the legumes which has been included. Then established 160 varieties and 37 crops. These are all the crops which are included in the OECD. Why OECD is important for us? Because we can reduce the lot of barriers to export of the seeds once you become the OECD, and lot of the procedure has been cut down. So that way, this becoming the OECD, enlisting the varieties which are performing well in some of the countries. I'll tell you, as myself, when I was a special officer seeds in US Bangalore, we have exported the sunflower hybrid KBSH41 to the Uganda. We have a lot of export potentiality, especially for the African countries. So for which these are all the international level organizations, association is most important thing. Then well-established EXIM policy. EXIM policy, we want to export, and a lot of revision has been made from say 2010 to 2015 and 16, liberalized, and we are allowed to export a lot of material, and we under the OLGC, the Open General Licensing, except some of the crops. That was the benefit we got, and well-established regulatory systems. That is a framework we have. Then varied agroclimatic. This already I mentioned. What crop you need, we can grow that one. And fast developing private seed sector. See, when I was organized the first seed seminar under the support of the DAC, that's 1.25 lakhs at the time they are given. We have started how we can collaborate with the private seed sector. So at the last point I would like to highlight here, I had one meeting with the IHR, that is an industry meet with the farmers. And whatever the technology we develop from the public sector organization, it should not be in the share. It should go out and you sell the technology and make available to the farmers through the private sectors, and really it matters. That is where we have. It is not only the products and the service, even it is in terms of human resources where we need. So that way, fast developing private sector partnership is very much essential in the present context. So this is the policy initiatives in the seed sector, which I mentioned, starting with the Seed Control Order 55. So here, earlier there was no seed acts or something like that, and how to regulate this one. So like any other commodity, we have included seed is one of the commodity where it can be treated and regulate the production's quality and distribution. So this is what we have started with. Then Seed Act 1966, I think probably you all know, all our seed legislations, rules, regulations and notifications, everything is under this 1966 Seed Act. It is very good model act where we can regulate starting from production till the distribution of the things. So then later on we also developed the Seed Control Order. See, this Seed Act covers only the notified varieties and other things. But the present scenario in the seed system, we have private organizations selling the seeds in the name of truthfully labeled seeds. It means to say they will meet the minimum standards what it is regulated or they mentioned for the certified seeds. Same thing will maintain, and the difference between these two classes is only the certified seeds the agency will take care, but in case of truthfully labeled seeds, the producing agency themselves will take care of those things. So that is how they manage. So in order to regulate, you see, they cannot sell whatever they like. They can, spurious seeds they can sell, but they cannot. How to regulate? So then government has started the Seed Control Order 1983, where they have appointed this inspector. Any time, anywhere in the country, he can enter to the shops where they deal with the seeds. They can draw the samples. If it is not meeting the standards, they can close down things, and also they can sue a case where there is a criminal case. It is not a simple case. They can penalize in terms of money. Even if they can penalize, then putting behind the bar to a certain period. So that is the kind of stringent law has been made under this order. Then of course, new development policy, seed policy. This is the one which has opened the eye for most of the private sector to open a new seed ventures. Many people, see, they were in the different business. They started to enter into the seed business because of this. This has given more provision for import of the material, and there is a lot of subsidy for the income tax rebates for the establishment. Even import of the new equipments, they have made it. So that way that has made, and it's made a really big, and many companies have started, and today about 540 multinational companies are there, out of which 80 companies are having R&D facilities. So this is the things which have today. So again, exempt policy, I told there is a lot of provisions have been made. Then PPFRA 2001, this is act, probably you know how it is functioning, and really it supports the seed industry in terms of developing new varieties, making available the resources, and also the profit sharing, that the protections they have. And the new seed bill 2019 it to come. Looking at the 2000 on that 1966 Seed Act, so there are a lot of drawbacks, not exactly the drawbacks, some of the improvement what we have made in the seed sector that we wanted to bring in the seed bill. So that was incorporated and covering most of the crops, because in the Seed Act we have covered only limited crops and limited divisions, but here we have covered most. And most one thing, anybody who want to sell the things, he has to register the for selling of the seeds, whether the farmer himself or other, So they have to register and sell the seeds, and there are transparency is there. That is the one thing which we could see in this the new seed bill. We wish it should be implemented soon. Again, just I wanted to mention how the India is really going for the seed activities. There was an estimate and the survey and the forecast to up to 2024. If you look at the growth rate, the green one represents the growth rate of at the faster rate. In the country, we have almost 12 to 13% growth rate in the seed sector, as against 6 to 7% at the global level. So this is the situation India is having as far as the growth rate is concerned. And the mid, you could see only in the few part. If you look at the red one, that is the low. Why I am mentioning this one at this point of time? Because we have the potential, we can tap and export the seeds to these countries where you can see the red African countries, which we already started, and many seed companies have been opened there by buying the land from the Indians. So this is the one advantage we have. So this is the scenario for up to 2024. Now it is still more. Then what is our concerns for the challenges? Of course, we have the strong basic strategic and anticipatory research in the seed science, but still we feel because of our experience we need to strengthen this, and a lot of things has to be done on the seed inaugurations and also enhancement. So many aspects are there where that is low cost technology which can give the farmers more remunerative if you invest low at the time of sowings or something like that. Then basic quality seeds and planting material, multiplication chains. Probably you may aware the generation system, that is from the nucleus, breeder to foundation, foundation to certified. So like that, this system has to be adopted, and it is going on, but still we need to improve upon this. Then inoculation potential variety, inclusion of potential varieties in the seed chains. See, there are so many varieties released every year by the different organizations, even the private organizations. But when it comes to the seed change intent from the breeder seed point of view, which is not figured there, though it is performing well, it is not figured there. So that way, we need to focus more on this, whatever the varieties. We use many medias, the platforms, where we can explain the potentiality of those and where exactly it is suitable. So that way we can include in that one. Then seed replacement rate. This is one of the, and the varietal replacement rate. Yes, we have achieved certain things, but still lot more to achieve. You can infrastructure. When I'm talking about the infrastructure, it is not merely the seed testing laboratories and other things. Even seed testing laboratories and testing equipments need to be upgraded. And the storage facilities, maybe control storage and other things. Because sometimes what will happen, there is a lot of seeds material carry over. So that when we want to protect, by keeping intact of the viability and the vigor, we need to store in a proper way based on the areas, in the sense where the seed hubs are there, where we need to have this kind of things. Then importance of public-private partnership, which I mentioned earlier, what digital integration challenges. Then regulatory and some of the things are there. Of course, climate change addition, pricing and affordability. And the last point which I would like to, guesstimation of the required and availability. See why I have mentioned this point, because when I was the director, if you look at the ratios based on the seed multiplication ratio, what is the seed requirement for the breeder to produce say 1000 quintals of the certified seeds? If you go for the back calculations, hardly you require a few kilos. But we are producing enormous. I'll take an example of paddy. If you produce 5000 quintals all put together breeder seeds, it is good enough to cater the needs of the entire country to produce certified seeds where you can maintain up to 80% of seed replacement rate, but it is not being used. We are producing almost 18 to 20,000 quintals of the breeder seeds. Now it has come down literally. So that way, this estimation should be a proper. So looking at the requirement, so that we should not waste the precious material. Then this is a broad segmentation of the Indian seed market. See, if you look at the varieties, normally the varieties, the profit margin is less. Who has to take care? Only the government, public sector is to take care. Here the estimated growth is hardly 3 to 5%, and some regional players. But if you look at the hybrids, where the MNCs and the private sector are dominating, and almost share is 68 to 85%, and growth rate is 10 to 12%. Even it has gone more than 12%. So GM seeds, of course, in only one crop, it is 20%, and it is dominated by the multinationals. So come to the real picture of the seed system, how the seed system is working, and based on this strength, what we have discussed today. So we have the three systems in the country operating to cater the needs of the seeds. So the first one is the formal seed system, and the second was the informal seed system and the integrated seed system. So when we talk about the formal seed system, where we have the public sector as well as the private sectors. In the public sectors, all the corporations and the state agriculture universities, ICAR institutes, cooperatives, most of the people are involved. Here the sequence, here in the formal system, plant breeding, then variety testing and release, and early germinations, multiplications, generation certified. This is a sequence. We call it as a generation system that has to be followed in the generation, this formal seed system. Even in the private companies also following the same thing with little modifications at their convenience, but without compromising the quality of the seeds. This is what we have seen. So here, and the latest thing that we have made, the variety testing and the release. Even the private sector also entitled during 1988 or something like that in the new seed development policy, they have made the provisions. All their varieties can be tested in the All India Coordinated Research testing and get released. So this is advantageous, so that more entry will be there, more options will be there to develop the varieties. That is what we have made. So if you understand this seed supply system in India, I think we can, in the formal system, no need to scratch your head. So here, the State Department of Agriculture and Cooperations, Government of India, this is the agency, get the indents from the, all the agencies, the seed agency, like State Seed Corporation, Department of Agriculture, private seed company, associations, and anybody who would like to grow this notified varieties, they should put an indent to the DAC. In terms of DAC is going to distribute to the ICAR. These are all the varieties which we need to produce. This will be given 2 years in advance. So once they allocate to the respective institutions and the university, they produce the seeds based on the availability of the nucleus seeds, and which will be monitored by the DSA, that Indian Institute of Seed Science. It is at Mau. And again, after the procurement, it will be distributed to the state agencies, that is corporations or the National Seed Corporation, private agencies, who are put an indent. So from there, they are going to produce the foundation seeds and the certified seeds that will be finally distributed to the farmer. This is the system in the formal way of producing and distributing the seeds in the country. And it is working well. Of course, the other quality assurance will be taken care by these agencies, certification agencies, and the internal monitoring team, quality assurance team is also there. They will also take care of those things, because the monitoring team will be constituted where it will visit the fields in a different stages and certify. So to ensure the genetic purity of the crops. Of course, there are certain limitations. What are those limitations? In the sense, some of the varieties which are required in the very low regions may not be available or listed in the varieties, and the public sector formal seed system is unable to meet the huge demand of the country, because they cannot do it themselves. So there should be some participation from the private sector. That is one thing. Then the third one, farmers is in remote rural areas, they should be able to access the seeds. This is one thing. And in the formal seed system, the many private companies, they will not participate or participate very less in case of the some of the bulky crops like groundnut, soybean and self-pollinated crops, where the profit margins are less. Their participation is very less in the formal seed system. They look for the hybrid. I shown one of the things in the slide, hardly 3 to 5% in open pollinated varieties. So then again, the prices, proper interference from the government, the prices are varied a lot. So these are some of the limitations in the formal seed system. Come to the informal system, how? See, when I talk about the informal system, I could see 2-3 papers which was done. See, informal systems in some of the countries reaching 90% of the farmers. Look at it, 90%. You see, in case of Kenya, in case of Zimbabwe, in case of Malawi, all these states we could see 90%. That means there is some potentiality in the informal system to reach the farmers. But what are the limitations? How we can bridge these two and get the better seed? That's our challenge. So here in the informal seed system, what we have, actives tend to integrate and locally organized. In the olden days, one of the person who used to produce and hey, if you want seeds, go and get it from him. So they used to get the seeds and barter system they used to give. So that was the practice. But you used to follow certain rules and regulations to develop the seeds also. Maybe it may be scientific, it may not be scientific, but still you used to ensure the quality should be set. Here I told you, farmers themselves produce the seeds and disseminate and access the seeds. Varieties may be land races or mixed races or maybe heterogeneous. So this point I would like to stress upon at the end, how these land races, and we are working on these areas, the traditional varieties play an important role, especially under the present situations. We are planning and we are working with the government of India how we can bring them in the regular seed multiplication chain made available to the, so that there are two objectives in this. One is to conserve those materials. The second one is made available those varieties to the people, especially in case of the area where the sustainability in the dryland ecosystem is required. So there we can work out. The seed is a variable quality of a different physical, of course, that's there. Steps do not follow in the linear sequence, and they are not mentioned and controlled by government policies or regulations. This is the things. So here, informal seed system, the components, of course, as I mentioned, farmers saved seeds, farmers to farmers transactions. So then seed growers associations, non-government organizations, and community groups. These are all the components where they go for the informal seeds and meet around almost 60% of the seed requirement in the country. Of course, now it has come down a little bit. So on average, it is 60%. Advantages of informal seed supply systems are low price, because here the farmer would produce, he himself will decide, looking at the kind of nature of farmers who take it. Then seed adaptability. So then easy access to the seeds. So here also there are some limitations. When compared to the farmer, here the limitations are more, in the sense very critical. Here varietal integrity and genetic purity are not assured. That means here they are not systematically followed to produce the seeds. That way there may be some contaminations during the production stage or during the post-harvest management. There may be chances. Then seed quality is often suboptimal due to the biotic stresses and the storage problems. This is one thing. Then seed exchange is restricted to the geographical area, because there is a boundary for these varieties. So behind that they cannot go. So that way this is one of the limitations. Crop failures or yield loss, of course, because of the nature, this one. Then local seed system collapsed. If it is collapsed or not reaching, what will happen to our precious material? Maybe land races, maybe traditional varieties, which are really rich in the nutritional value. Because we have made this, we have one project, so where we have studied what is the nutritional value. See, to address the malnutrition, these are all the varieties needed. And for the breeding program, we need this material. So that way, we used to preserve this. In case this informal system collapse, what will happen? So how we should address? Come to the third point, it is an integrated system. So integrated system, so the formal system is there and the informal system there. There are some good points in the informal system, how we can bring it. For example, I am talking about the ensuring the quality of the informal system. That is a limitation. How to make it the, the quality seeds of the same thing, how with little interventions can you do it? That is called integrated seed supply systems, where we can do the things. So this is one thing which we can, where the quality of informal sector used by a small scale farmers can be improved by several ways. Probably you have heard of seed village scheme launched by the government of India, where they have given lot of importance to the basic seed supply, that is at the subsidized rates by the institutions or the corporations, and give that farmers training. Village means you can adopt one village, one variety, one crop, and give them a basic seeds and train them before sowing, at the time of standing crop, and at the time of before just harvesting. What are the precautions you have to take to ensure the quality? You are doing it in informal system. How we can blend with the formal system, by which these are all the areas or the critical periods where we have to intervene and train them. This is one thing. And encourage farmers to make their own selections of traditional varieties, because they know about the varieties, how it performs. Probably you see Maldandi is one of the varieties, still it is ruling for the roti purpose. So that way there are so many traits in these traditional varieties. Now there are so many NGOs, so many organizations started studying their potentiality in terms of nutritional value and how we can bring them into the mainstream, so that made available to that. So this is one. And this can be integrated and develop the modern varieties at the research stations, maybe institutions. That is one thing. Here the most important point, which at the end I have made it red color. See, germplasm, breeders foundation seeds comes from the formal system. So that is the most critical point where to ensure the quality. Once it is done, further generations can be go in the informal system with little adoptions of the formal system, and we can meet the demand. So this is called the integrated formal system for this. This is one success story which I would like to mention here is ICAR vision on seed systems has made it. Here they have blended seed security by involving the practices, farming systems, conservation, selections of the seeds, and also they have taken the gender issues. Here what they have done, they have given the basic seeds and involved many people. The procurement, who has to procure, the corporation can procure, and who has to do that, the certification agency can do that, and who can distribute, the corporations can do that. So this way they have brought many organizations and give for this dryland ecosystem. That is one of their idea, and they have blended it. This is one thing which I would like to share. So here, why action on dryland seed system is required? Because I mentioned in the beginning, most of our crops are grown on the rain-fed. So therefore, we need to have this one. So here, we are looking from the angle of how to increase the yield gap. So by giving the better seeds which will kill the phytophthora. I mentioned what will be the contribution of the seeds. So this is the system where involve the farmers, involve the education institutions or the research institutions, provide them, even it can involve the private sectors and get the things done to provide. So this is most important thing which we are thinking, nutritional focused seed systems. See, we are always looking, when we say seeds, we are looking from the angle of food production, increase the yield, increase the income, especially our target is income, private sector, even the public sector, because they have to do it for some of the sector of the farmers, so they are doing it. But when you talk about the malnutrition, almost 30-35% malnutrition in the country, how to address those things? So now we should have the varieties and how those variety seeds can be made available to the people. So this is the one, probably you heard of biofortified varieties. The ICAR and many organizations have developed the biofortified varieties where they are rich in the iron, zinc and some of the proteins, some of the minerals. So this is the one. In fact, our Bangalore University has developed 3 rice varieties called Postic 1, 5 and 7, where they are rich in the iron, zinc and also the protein. But the problem is how these varieties are spread, how long it has taken. No, in my opinion, even the Honorable Prime Minister, they have given 17 varieties recently, biofortified varieties to the country. So altogether about 130-35 varieties are there in the country, biofortified. But whether these varieties are there in the seed multiplication chain, that is the question and also the challenge for us. But my suggestions or the request, how these varieties should be bring in the seed multiplication chain. There are 2 factors involved. One is the seed production chains we have to involve. The second one is the extension. Extension functionality is as to highlight the benefits of these biofortified varieties. They should come in the Nutri meal. Dr. Swaminathan has said Nutri millets. So like that, these biofortified varieties should be there in our meals. That is called nutri meals or thali. We call it as a thali. So for which we need to have the things. So here there are some systems, alternate seed system models are there, where farmers participatory varietal selections. Here in the first stage, cluster of villages, and we give the technical and input supply to these farmers in the village, and also institutional support we give, and they are going to make participatory varietal selection, seed production, and distribution to the things. When you go to the second stage, how and who are all the things which are going to involve is, first is a seed village bank. If you look at this left side, where participatory varieties, selections of the varieties. So these are all the system in the formal. When it goes to the other side, you see who are all the people who can encourage farmers, producer organizations, self-help groups, and NGOs. If you allow, they are also funding, and they can produce these seeds with the support of the research institutions and international institutions and agriculture universities. So these people will give the technical input as well as the capacity building. As a result, they can achieve the production of the material. So in the farmers participatory, as I mentioned in the earlier slide, so these are all the benefits which we are going to give. So for every stage of productions, we are going to introduce the farmers and produce the seeds. Here is the farmers' own seed banks. See, in fact, Government of India recently has announced around 600 seed banks are going to be established to cater the needs of the districts wise. See, even this concept we have done it when I was a special officer seeds. We used to go to the district, calling the joint director of those district, agriculture, horticulture, and also different private agencies. What is the demand for the particular districts? So how much quantity you required, what variety you required. So based on that, we made a group, farmer scientist participatory group, and we take the indent and started producing those seeds and distributed. And excess seeds can be stored in seed banks. We make one of the persons or the, FU or whatever it may be, and we can store that, they can distribute. So this is, for long run, this is a self-sustain, and the Government of India has made lot of changes. Even earlier there was a educational qualification to have this seed banks. Now they are relaxed up to 10th standard is good enough to own these seeds, seed banks. So that way we have this traditional way of systems. Here in the traditional way of systems, we are protecting the traditional varieties, bringing these varieties into the seed chain and made available to the farming community or within the region. So this is one, and also we are ensuring the nutritional value in our food chain. So this is one we have done in Andhra Pradesh itself at the almost about 10 years back. We have trained the youths in the village, groundnut. Actually every time when I was a director, the problem was with the groundnut and the soybean. Because breeder seeds insufficient. See, bulky crop, multiplication rate is hardly 8%. So that way nobody was willing to take, and we identified the villages where this major area is there, and we have supplied the genetic purity material, and we have trained them and produced them. Here it is not only getting the quality seeds and a reasonable price the farmer is to get. This scheme is really working well. See, I was talking about the seed replacement rate and varietal replacement rate. See, there are so many varieties which are coming into the market, but they are not popularizing. How to do that? This is one consortia which I found, again I was a director of the institutions, in the Rahuri Institute. They developed one variety. They wanted to promote this variety. They have made the consortia like this. The concerned university or they have made as a member secretary, and the chairman, maybe the commissioner, are like that, and they have involved all the stages, that is State Certification Agency, National Seed Corporation, Department of Agriculture, State Seed Corporations, then crop breeders, ICAR Institute, private sectors. So they have adopted about almost 150 acres. Physically I went there by the bike, and we have seen how the transformations, within 2 years that variety was spread like a fire, and many people, they have purchased bullet, they purchased the four-wheeler. They have made a success story. This was the impact. You see, so when we say variety replacement rate, it automatically the seed replacement rate is going to be increased. And the most important point which I would like to highlight, technology. Whether it is a product or the service. Here it is a product. So that is how we have to have the different models at the different situations. We cannot have the common model to a particular location. Look at the locations, what it needs. First you assess. Based on that, involve all these people. You see, everybody was happy in the consortia. State Seed Certification Agency, they got the fees and they qualified. Areas increased. Corporation, they have purchased some seeds and distributed the other farmers. The private, they purchased and distributed. So their revenue also got increased. So this is the one model, so which I liked. So based on this is one village, one variety. It is done in the Odisha, again the pigeon pea variety. So you see the data, the impact of this one. Here again, what I mentioned in the consortia, similar model they have made. Here the ICAR has been involved. Here the impact was more than 30% increase in the yields, and incomes are almost doubled. And the farmers benefited, about 43,000 farmers have benefited. So this is the scenario by using this, concept of one village, one variety. Because here there is no contamination of any other varieties. That is the most important thing. Then again, the case study in Himalaya Pradesh, this is regarding the, storage. The traditional method of storage, they have done it and they have saved. Here the take home message is, that is, interpret the traditional and the formal the seed system to develop the locally sustainable model. So here they have done a wonderful job by mingling both and got success. So components of sustainable seed system, what are those? See, we have categorized into four disciplines. One is the seed productions. When it comes to the seed productions, what are the major components? Of course, improved breeding techniques. So now you might have seen the marker assisted selections, genomics, all these latest tools have been used to reduce the time taken to develop the varieties, and speed breeding. All those can be used and develop the good hybrids or the varieties which are required for this. Because the now land is a constraint. So whatever within the same piece of land, you have to increase the yield. So for which these are all the seed production strategies which you have to. Then the second one is that is participatory plant breeding. In case of the selection of varieties, selection of the traits, it is based on the experience of the farmers or the consumers. You give them a chance and do that. That is one thing. Then the third one is, I was mentioning about the traditional varieties, conservation of indigenous varieties. So this is one thing. Then the third one is the conservations in terms of ex situ and also the in situ conservations. These things are the factors which really taken care during the production system. Then distribution system. During the distribution system, what we need? Efficient supply chain. This is the most important thing. See, productions can be done by anybody. When it comes to distributions, it is very, very important. What are the areas, which variety is needed, which time is required. So they have to plan and accordingly they have to do it. Then community-based seed banks, how to strengthen these things when it comes to distributions. So as I mentioned, the district-wise development of these seed banks is really helping, and they will take care of those things. And digital platform for the trade information. So now more than 65 crores of people are having the, mobile. 65% of the people have farmers. Now they can access all the informations. For which what we have to do, I have seen, because I am working on this digitalization, I have seen so many apps are there. One is for the seeds, one is for the fertilizer, one is for the pesticides and other things. But farmers, what he need all information in one platform, so that from the starting from the sowing till he markets, all information should be accessible to him. That is called digitalization, especially for the seed information. Then quality assurance in the sustainable seed systems. For example, quality assurance, genetic purity, we have to wait for 2 months, 3 months and other things. Can we use the latest technology, that is molecular tools, to assess the quality of the seed. Yes, most of the private sectors already started and using it. Only in the formal, the public sector, still we are not able to, implement. But this can be done because it needs the manpower, skilled power, and also skilled equipments is required, infrastructure. Then capacity building for the quality testing. You see, in many of the earlier there used to be lot of training program. In Varanasi there is a institution, National Institution for Seed Research and Training Institution is there. They used to conduct trainings, but sometimes these trainings are not that much effective, what I believe. In the sense, once they get the training and the people will get transferred to the other positions. So that is the system. The moment they take, they go back and implement. Then traceability systems. So in case of the new seed bill 2019, we have included this one, traceability, because find a lot of spurious seeds in the market. How to trace it back? Now we can go for the blockchain technology and the QR codes. All those things has been started initiating. Again, we have initiated this barcoding for the breeder seeds. First time we have done it during 2013 when I was the director. So where these seeds have been produced, who has done it? Any fraud, immediately we can catch hold of things. So these systems should be there in the system. Then farmer education and support. So I said farmers need training starting from the selection till they go for the marketing. That is one thing. These are different stages. But the last third point which I would like to stress upon, financial services for the seed procurement. So this is the one thing which some of the youngsters, they want to become entrepreneurs in the seed line. They always say, sir, we need a lot of money for the procure. And once they procure, they have to sustain for till it is disposed. In case if it is not disposed, what is our fate? So this was a thing. So for which there should be some kind of financial support from either from the government or from some agency where they can promote these younger generations to enter into the seed business so that we can produce enough seeds. So approaches for advanced seed system. So these are all the factors which we need to day-to-day update in our formal and informal seed system. Now come to the approaches for advanced seed system. What are the different approaches we would like to incorporate in the present or the formal seed system so that there will be efficient seed productions in the country. So again, I told you the molecular digital tools for more effective seed system. First one is the traceability, transparent, and also quick in assessing the quality of the seeds. This is very much required at the present juncture, and many of the private sectors already started. That is called in-house quality management system, where they are incorporating many of the system what we are discussing now. So this is the QR code. I told this was first introduced when I was a director, because I used to get lot of complaints. Sometimes DG used to bang me. What is this? There is a lot of complaints because directly they used to write to the ICAR from the DAC. So these are all the things. So then how to check this? So I started, let me see, because that was there at the time beginning, this barcoding and other things. I introduced on the label. This is the yellow color is the label tag, where upper one is the label and second one is the tag. So on the tag, once you scan the barcode, you will get all the details. Who has produced, who has inspected, and other things. Any problems, we can catch hold of this one. This has worked very well in order to reduce the things. This is innovative integration of information technology. These are all my own innovations during my journey. That is the one ICT applications. Starting from the day one, when I am a farmer, I want to start seed production, and all my details will be entered in the computer, and what seed has been given, who has given the seeds, and how many times he has visited, and what is his remarks, and everything. And once it is processed, all the data, once it comes to the processing plant, how it was processed, and what is the germination percentage, whether it is rejected or accepted. And once it is accepted, the number was given, and which farmer it is went, so that every tracking of every event was, and which processing plant it was processed, everything is there, and we have done it, and it was worked excellently. And so number of the complaints has come down drastically. because everything is traceable, we can. Then approach for the, another thing is our vending machine. If you go to airport for juice and snacks, everything, one day I saw it, I see, why can't we use it for the seeds? So then I requested the Tamil Nadu Vice-Chancellor is there, Ramaswamy, sir, can you start? Then the Coimbatore is known for all the industries and other things. So we fabricated and we have done it. So now you can see those things, those who are visiting the ICAR Bhavan and some of the bus stands, some of the railway stations, everywhere it is there, vending machines. Here in Kerala it's working well because there they have the terrace garden and other things where they can use the, and this is high value crop seeds has been, because bulky crop we cannot put, but this one we have and it is working well. So this is one thing which I could share. Then artificial intelligence for the agriculture. These are all my imagination, because how we can bring these things. The second one, artificial intelligence for high quality seed productions. See, this is in-house. Because I was in Netherlands, I could see, probably you might have gone, see, in terms of acres, we could see the glasshouses, where you can regulate everything. Acres, 10 acres, 20 acres, you could see, you can regulate. 2-3% used to manage, because I said it. I thought, can we use this Indian situations? Yes, so I given this problem to my student, one of the PhD students, hydroponics, use of hydroponics in the seed production, tomato I worked, and it really works well. Of course, there is some increase in the budget in the initial stage. After some times we can get back, and use of the chemicals is drastically reduced. And we can see, but it is meticulously we have to do it, because even 2-3 hours there is no power, all the plants will come like this. It will almost like ICU. So that is how we have done it. And now using this artificial intelligence and that technique, I think we can track every moment. I think we have seen so many apps have come. They have apps in their watch and they regulate the plantation crops. It will give an indications. So I need water because already dry. So that kind of apps have come. So that is going on. I thought, why can't we use these technologies in the seed system? We can. Then again, sensor for the evaluation of seed vigor identification parts. This is one thing which we have done because we used to do routinely physically, but there are equipments, the technology is there. Can we use a sensor so that the half-type seeds can be easily eliminated? So like that, there is a color sorter. So many things are there. So those things I wanted to bring in the system, especially the quality evaluations and that. So again, the drones for identification of half-types. See how I got this idea. I went to one of the institution in USA where they have the pasture land, and they were running the equipments like this. Not exactly the drones, they have the sensors. Those, it is in terms of huge area. They run the machine, that is the equipment, that will identify the particular patch. Yeah, this patch is having less protein content plants, because they are feeding the animals, open grazing. They mix the proportionately what different grasses which give the different constant of the material. So this is the patch where you need to increase this particular crop. Suddenly it comes, because in Indian situations, the certification agency, you will be allotted thousands of acres. Even if you work 24 hours, you cannot reach all the area which is allocated for him. So that way, can we use this so that it can survey? We can develop the software, put that software into the plant, into this one. It go and survey. If any plant found half type, it should detect how many plants are there. So this is one, and I given this to. In fact, I had a discussion with the Pro people, and we have taken some project. And we could able to get some good results, but application part still it is in the things. So this is one technology, is really wonderful technology which we can. So AI technology for seed production, inspections 160x field in less than 15 minutes. So it surveys every part of the field and it will tell. So this is the things. So this is our area. Actually I tried this in our GKVK. So how we can do that? Here, you see, this photo is pulling the row because for the effective pollinations and more seed setting. Normally the seed setting percentage will be hardly 25 to 30%. You want to increase the seed setting of this hybrids by pulling this rope and other things, even maybe 1 or 2% rises, that's fine. But suddenly, recently, it came to my mind. See, when you go to this drones with high-speed motor, can we run that below this? What is pulling the day in the same line so that it will disturb the plant, so that the spread of the pollen will be on the female lines will be quite efficient, and we can make use of this. So it can save labor, it can save time, because it is timely. We have to do it. This is, of course, what I said. This is a system how seed to sales traceability works. So just I given the picture. Then one seed platform. I was talking about the RKVY project. I got 80 lakhs from the RKVY project. When I came back from the directorship of institution, I went back as a special officer. So this Biodiversity International organization is there. I was there with them for some time. We had an interactions. They given this idea, platform. That means seed platform can access the private people, public sector, and stakeholders, the franchisees, farmers, most important farmers. And we, based on this, we have developed the app called Bij Aadhaar. So I given this name, Aadhaar card is there, no? So like I thought Bij Aadhaar. So here we are given the provisions to upload all your data, private companies, farmers, whoever it may be. So those who are different stakeholders comes under the seed platform, they can upload. In fact, initially we have charged around 50 rupees to those, because if I say free, they will neglect. So I charge 50 rupees for farmers, free I made it, and we have made it. So here the main advantage is, for example, I am a farmer, would like to grow paddy. The moment you press the paddy crop, I will get the informations where the seed is available, what are the varieties available. So once you go to the press the variety which I like, so it gives where it is available, what is the cost of the each bag and available. Then once you take the bag and you press another the package of practices, how to grow that plant, how to make the productions, and any advanced technology like seed treatment, inauguration treatments which I mentioned. So those things can also be there. And also testing, if any pesticides or this one has to be there, you go to the pest and there are list of pests, if you press it, oh this is the symptoms, and you can connect the people, or you can yourself can decide and go to the pesticide. It also gives how many shops are there nearby you, and this is the one. So then the marketing, what is the price on the market, and these are all the things we have incorporated and we have worked. It is working nicely, and very few people are using it. In fact, we have given wide publicity in terms of training, everything to the different stakeholders. Many people, they are voluntary, any private people. For example, I am a private person, I would like to promote this one. This variety you can include, variety is suitable for this Telangana region. So this gives a 12% yield. So that way we can do that. So this is how we have done it. I think, I don't know, many of you are aware, seed versus planting should be formed. This is the era of today. In the sense, you need not buy the seeds. Just you put an intent to the, nursery. See, I want a Arca anaemica seedlings, they will give you. You put an indent today with weighing about 20% advance, and you take on this date and take it out. So this is a system. This I have seen in the Netherlands. Again, the Netherlands, they give, because there is a mechanized sowing. See, I want the bottom of size 4 by 4. This is the seedling quality. These are the things. Here, one thing which I also propose to the government, there should be some standards like seed standards for the seedling standards also, because they cannot. So here the advantage of this one is, you need not worry about the quality of seeds. I want 1000 seedlings, they will give this 1000 seedlings, and you can save the time of 25 to 1 month, days to 1 month, because it will be in the nursery. You can take it out and directly plant it. Mortality will be less. So again, the uniformity is more, and you can take the operations very quickly. So this is in the South India, especially in Bangalore, in and around region, where the vegetable growing areas are there. Now putting in indent and taking. Karnal, there is our research stations, AIRI research station is there, seed production, where the farmer is doing this job for the paddy. Can you imagine? Paddy is one of the cereal crop which requires short seedlings. He supplies the seedlings to the farmers based on the indent. So it is really, so probably in the future days, this is the one area where our seed system should have it. This is establishment of mega seed project. In fact, when the Dr. Chandrababu Naidu was the chief minister, I was also one of the member in this establishment. 600 acres, they wanted to have the project. In the sense, all the infrastructure which is required for the public and private sector to showcase their technology, to develop the advanced trials into a market, the facilities has to be given, and once the farmers enter to this project, you can see all the things and you can choose. That was the thing. So this is the one initiatives, and in fact we have made this project in the ICAR with a little kind of small sectors we have done it. So here, what is next? I think most of you are purchasing the clothes, paste, soaps through the Amazon. So now the seeds also started. Many people are purchasing the power parts and other things, seeds. So our vision is also now, that is the one, digital seed. So in continuation of our earlier Aadhaar, Bij Aadhaar, we are also working on digital seed system. One app we are trying to develop. Here, that is called root stock. In the sense, all the information from the beginning, I am a Raita, just to become the member of, I am going to grow this one, you will get entire informations, including marketing, including connecting to the different people. That is how we are promoting. Shortly, we are going to release that app. One of the IT company I am associating, and we are doing that. That is how the digitalization in the seeds we would like to bring in. To strengthen the seed industry process, in 2024, the industry has requested for some of the provisions and the policies, especially on the 200% income tax rebate for those things. Earlier it was there. Now again they are requested to strengthen the seed system. These are all the things which really needed. If the government is supports, of course partially it is supporting. For example, northeastern region, the transportation cost was less to transport the seeds. So similarly, for the remote places, if they made certain provisions, and also rebate for the purchase of the equipments which is required for the seed industry, all those things can be made by the government. I think that further strengthening of the seed system will be much more. So this is in nutshell how the seed system, overall the actors and the governance. This is the survey made by the different countries. Here, what are the expectations? In the right side, I think you can read it. So that is high yielding, traits, and also adverse effects are there, outward stress, and overall the players. I listed the overall the players in that. The second column, agencies, starting from public, private, farmers, cooperatives, NGOs, everything. And the orange color represents the farmer seed system. That means all the organizations involved in the seed development. It is a nutshell what I spoke to you now. And the last, the green one, blue one speaks about the involvement of the farmers, how they are really involved in securing the seed. So, or for the seed security. So these are all the agencies which there in the farmer seed system and also the farmer seed systems. Though we are good in the seed production, achievements are good, but still a lot more to do, because we need to scale up the availability of the quality seeds, realizing the potentiality of the quality seeds, linking farmer seed system with the formal seed system. This is one thing I told. What are the good points which are to inculcate without compromising the quality of the seeds? Then focus on the new technology, including drones, IoT. What I given the example where it can be incorporated, that should be incorporated in the seed support system. Then enabling inclusive and globally aligned seed regulations that promote interactions of science, innovations with entrepreneurship, which lead to the competitions and further develop of strong seed system. This is one thing, because we have a lot of potentiality for the export. I think we can expand and encash by different interventions like policy interventions and linking so many things. Then strengthening the regulatory mechanisms in terms of transparency, I told you, then uniformity, modernity, science-based approaches. So this is one. Lastly, the public-private partnership in the seed sector, it is most important. Today, if you look at the percentage, earlier days, around 63% the contribution is from the public sector. Today, around 63% is from the private sector at 35. But ICAR, that is, has also examined what is the contribution, but it is around 54% from the public sector, because the most of the private people working are producing the seeds are of the public bred varieties. So that means the production agencies are different, but the product is from the public sector. So that way, the public sector contribution is also equally immense, and both public and the private are doing a wonderful job in terms of providing the quality sets. It needs to be, the partnership should be further strengthened in the different angles to achieve the maximum reach of the quality seeds to the farming community. So with this, I think I would like to thank. So seed security is a food security, and healthy seeds for healthy nation. That means nutrition of the crops and the seeds is most important thing. With this, once again, thank you very much.
Thank you for a very informative session, sir. It is very wonderful, and starting from food security to, and it is nutritional security and different system, formal, informal, integrated system, and also examples, something like seed banks or community seed systems, something like ICAR models in dryland area. All it is very interesting to learn and go through all, and also some things very interesting. It is related to digital innovations when we take digital advancement in the seed production and seed traceability, like artificial intelligence or drone related. That's also very interesting, and some of the places already they are doing. It's altogether it's very interesting. We can see just it's 1 hour 10 minutes or something, but still your 30 years of experience, you concise and you put it, sir. Thank you very much for complete session on seeds and seed systems. And also Government of India recently, there is a system called something Sati. Sati, very much they are promoting big wave with all the state governments. That is for seed authenticity and also traceability and also holistic inventory they want to take. And they are, Government of India asking all the governments to enroll, and so that they can have the traceability and also authenticity of the seeds, and also they can have the inventory, where seeds coming, where it is going, how much want seeds we needed, like that, no? Complete, they are putting a lot of push for these systems. And also maybe these type of developments also coming, digital innovations are coming in the seed system. It will make seed become one of the more, again, crucial, very critical input for the farmers. It will enhance the, not only for the prosperity and also nutrition security for the large number of population. And thank you very much for, sir, once again for our interesting session.